whisperer, and while I'm in the streets, you're in the sheets. I use my whispers and the white noise of the city that never sleeps to help you fall asleep. So cozy up, close your eyes, let's get started. Today we're hanging in Herald Square and making mischief in Macy's. The intersection of Broadway, 6th Avenue, and 34th Street is called Herald Square because the headquarters of the New York Herald was in this location from 1895 to 1921. Of note here in this little public area is this bronze statue called Minerva and the Bell Ringers. It is a statue by Antonin Jean-Charles, and it sits as a memorial to James Gordon Bennett, the founder of the New York Herald, as well as his son, James Gordon Bennett Jr., who really made the Herald the big deal that it was. But the coolest thing about this statue is that at one time, Minerva, the bell, and the bell ringers were on top of the Herald building, and the bell tolled the hours. Also in Herald Square is the Macy's headquarters as well as the flagship store. It boasts 2.5 million square feet. 1.25 million square feet is dedicated to retail space, making it the largest department store in the United States and one of the largest in the world. Herald Square, however, was not its first New York location. That honor goes to this building right here on 14th Street and 6th Avenue. Then it moved to 18th Street and Broadway on Ladies Mile for nearly 40 years before finally settling in Herald Square in 1902. Macy's, or R.H. Macy & Co., was founded on October 28, 1858, as a dry goods store in Haverhill, Massachusetts, by Roland Hussey Macy, R.H. Macy. Macy chose a Red Star logo because of a Red Star tattoo he got as a teen while he was working as a whaler on a Nantucket whaling ship. And on R.H. Macy & Co.'s first day of business, they made $11.08, which is $326.82 today. Almost from the beginning, Macy used Santa Claus, other themed exhibits, and illuminated store windows to draw customers in. And since 1946, the Macy's Flower Show has been one of the 3 big events of the year for Macy's. The other 2, of course, being Macy's annual Thanksgiving Day Parade, as well as Macy's Santaland. And where the 2 latter events happen in November and December, respectively, the Macy's Flower Show happens annually in the spring. This year, 2021, the Macy's Flower Show is occurring from Sunday, May 2nd through Sunday, May 16th. That's 2 full weeks of blooms. Altogether, the flower show has been going on for about 75 years. The first one occurred in 1946 at a Macy's in California when they displayed potted plants and orchids. And then a few years later, the Macy's in San Francisco's Union Square started the annual event that featured themed gardens. The theme of this year's flower show is Give, Love, Bloom. It's a celebration of the promise of 2021, inspiring joy and hope, and it is a gift to the for rising to the challenges of 2020 with resilience and optimism, because last year, 2020, due to COVID, there was not a Macy's Flower Show because New York City was the epicenter of the pandemic at the time that it would normally have occurred. Macy's has 9 floors of retail space, 11 floors total. There's also restaurants and coffee shops, even a food court. Oh hey Zoe. We went to school together. She's super sweet. So, are the flowers real? Yes. They're real and they're spectacular. And they come from all over the world. Let's head up to the second floor to see if there's anything going on up there. Okay, so the only thing going on up here is that there's some sort of Mothman, some fake flowers, and some sort of moth woman, and most of the mannequins are wearing something floral. You can't go to Macy's and not ride one of these wooden escalators. They have several, and they are 100 years old. And they sound like it. I really like how they sound. So yeah, those escalators are pretty old, but Macy's Herald Square is much older. It was built in 1901, opened in 1902, and on June 2nd, 1978, it became a U.S. National Historic Landmark, and it is on the U.S. National Register of Historic Places. And on the 8th floor is probably the most exciting thing about it. Macy's Santa Land. From the early 1860s until today, Santa has called Macy's his home base during the holiday season. It all started in 1861 when the store advertised that Santa came to stock their counters with his finest gifts. And starting in 1862, kids could visit Santa at the 14th and 6th location. For the next 4 decades, Macy's was deemed the headquarters of Santa Claus, and later the home of Santa Claus. Then in 1924, the inaugural Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade ended with the arrival of Santa Claus as the finale to officially usher in the holiday season. And with the exception of 1933 and 3 years during World War II, Santa has ended every Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade since. In 1947, the movie Miracle on 34th Street was released. It's the story of a little girl who found the real Santa Claus at Macy's in Herald Square. Miracle on 34th Street made Macy's Santa world famous, and that jump-started letters to Santa being mailed to the Herald Square Macy's location. And in 1948, the first televised Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade reinforced that the real Santa is at Macy's in Herald Square. Macy's Santaland has been on the 8th floor permanently since 1977. And did you know that Macy's has a partnership with Make-A-Wish Foundation? It's called Believe, and Believe helps fundraise for the program. Pretty cool. I've been to Santaland and met the real Santa several times before. And while it's not Santa season, I'm gonna give you a tiny sneak peek inside. You're gonna have to wait until Santa season to see more, or better yet, come meet the real Santa for yourself sometime. So every year the flower show has sponsors or partners, and this year one of them is Sinclair, which is an oil corporation that has lots of gas stations and convenience stores nationwide. So this is all on the mezzanine. Don't just stay on the first floor. There's stuff up here on the mezzanine. Okay, Believe, the Make-A-Wish partnership. Another partner/sponsor is Kalahari, which are convention centers, resorts, and water parks. I've never even heard of them. Here, take a screenshot and Photoshop yourself in. That's some cool merch. Here's the view from the mezzanine. This year, FIT, or the Fashion Institute of Technology, partnered with the flower show, and they had a contest to see which student designer could make the most beautiful and on-theme dress, and the top dresses are on display here. This one looks like the Carrie Bradshaw dress from the beginning of the first Sex and the City movie. This one reminds me of a feather duster or a daffodil. This one would be good for a gender reveal party. It's a boy. This one kind of looks like an elephant. There's the ears and the trunk. And this one was the grand prize winner, but I call it Bella in the Witch Elm. This one was my favorite, so I'm gonna show it again. And this one is just millennial dresses were absolutely beautiful. The designers are very talented, and I would wear any one of those dresses to an Oscar party. I have to practice my scales, and I'm getting kinda hungry, so let's head down to the basement where they have the big piano, which is the piano from the movie Big, and the food court. That was fun. Alright, we're gonna leave now, but we're gonna do it through the memorial entrance. Okay, so in 1895, after everyone in the Macy family had passed from this world, Isidore and Nathan Strauss purchased Macy's. They had previously had licenses to sell china in the store and had made enough money doing so to buy the store. They are the ones who in 1902 relocated it to Herald Square. Even though it was so far away from all the other stores that were similar at the time, what they did to get around the fact that it was so far away from all the other stores was they would transport customers from the main shopping center of Manhattan at the time to Macy's and Herald Square using steam wagons, thus setting the precedent to constantly modify to suit changing customers' tastes. And so this entrance is in part a memorial to Isidore Strauss and his wife Ida, who tragically passed away in the sinking of the Titanic. Here's the memorial entrance from the outside. The scene in the 1997 Titanic movie where there is an elderly couple in bed together holding hands as the Titanic sinks is meant to depict Ida and Isidore's last moments. I just really like this font and the detail on the lights. I think it's really cool. And I thought that this was really clever that during the flower show they're showcasing their floral scents. Clever marketing. In regards to the architecture of the building, it has a Palladian facade, and any modifications, additions, and remodels have been Art Deco. It spans almost an entire city block, which is why this sign is a lie. It is not the world's largest store, and the reason is this building right here. It was a pre-existing 5-story building at the corner of 34th and Broadway that was purchased by a man named Robert H. Smith in 1900. They say it was because of an alleged vendetta against Macy's, that he bought it because he didn't want Macy's to be the biggest store in the world. He purchased it for $375,000, which is $11.5 million today. Macy's just built around it. Then on December 6th, 1911, the building sold for for a whopping $1 million, which was a huge amount at the time, thus earning the corner the nickname the $1 Million Corner. And now Macy's leases the top of that